Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Prom. This is, of course, a Disney. I don't know if it's a Disney Channel movie or if it's a Disney feature that was in theaters, because it starts with the castle pan over and river and all the other stuff, and the When You Wish Upon a Star. I didn't know they did that for the Disney Channel stuff. I don't know. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. It's from 2011. It's an hour and 41 minutes long. It is. Yeah, it doesn't have a rating on it, so it seems like it would be a TV thing. And it's perfectly innocent. I mean, it's a Disney film, and despite the, let's say, more adult associations made with coming of age at the prom or after the prom, none of that's in here. This is completely the most, it's the least sexy prom in the world. It's, yes, lots of beautiful people in beautiful suits and dresses and everything else. That is a given, but yeah, it's Disney, and it's not going to be any kind of mature situations, pressuring for certain things. None of that comes into play. This is all the build up to the actual day and the various different ways people handle it. Before I forget, this actually has strangely enough, they paid the money for a pretty decent soundtrack of pop hits and artists from that era, from so long ago in 2011. That's 13 years ago, people. As I'm filming this, 13 years ago. Yeah, it's got Katy Perry and Neon Trees and M83 and The Naked and the Famous and all that stuff. That 20 teens era? Is that what they call it? I don't know. Anyway, this is one of those kind of, I don't want to say Love Actually kind of situations, but it has lots of different storylines running parallel to each other at the same time. We're just hopping around from different storyline to storyline about various couples. Sometimes the couples intersect, especially when it comes to one character who happens to be cheating on his girlfriend. And it's her suspicions that lead them to making some hard decisions. And is she justified in her suspicions? Is she not? Well, I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything for you, because odds are not a whole lot of people have seen this unless they were just like, oh my gosh, I got to watch Prom on the Disney Channel. I don't know. That's not something I've ever said in my life before. So, yeah. Again, this is mainly all a teenage cast or young adults playing teens. I have no idea who's who. It mostly, of course, features seniors, and then there's some younger kids in the mix. They're like sophomores or something. Of course, there's always stories about crushes, stories about betrayal, stories about opposites attract. The main character in this is Nova, played by, where is she? I scrolled too far. Come on. Nova. It's played by Annie Teagarden. This girl right here. And she is Miss Perfection when it comes to school. She's got the best grades. She's on all the committees. She does all the extracurriculars. She's in charge of the prom committee. Somebody jokes that she's in charge of the committee of committees and all these kind of things. Something like that. And she's just got so much going on. Everything's just has to be right. And I mean, she's ambitious, and that's not a bad thing. She's got it, but she's got things going. But she's got a boyfriend who, a handsome guy, and she's obviously lovely. And of course, you don't make your lead characters just grotesque. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but I mean, just, you don't make them grotesque. You make them camera ready, even if they're just horrible in real life. I don't know. But yeah, so they're both attractive people, but they seem to not have each other in their priority. She wants to, of course, have a prom that not only she prepares and creates and builds, but one that she can enjoy with the person she loves, or at least is dating. He is also ambitious and you could probably check a bunch of boxes for a lot of girls that say, I want a guy who's this, this, and this, and this, and he hits pretty much all of them, except for the fact that he has little or no interest in her whatsoever. At least she's pretty far down the totem pole compared to everything else he's got going on. In fact, he's almost treating it as if they're going to just carpool to the prom together, if he goes at all, because he's got other things going on. Yeah. So in this, of course, things go wrong. And I'm not gonna spoil too much, but one of the main things that brings together her main story is the shed that where we meet a lot of the characters. We're introduced to a number of the characters that are helping her out, prepare for the prom. Some of her best friends, some bunch of guy friends, and they put them all in a shed, and at one point it burns down. Not going to explain how or why, but it does burn down, and everything is lost. Their plans for the prom are dashed, and she has like 3 weeks, not even, maybe a little bit more than that, to get it all going again somehow. And because a certain guy rolls up on a motorcycle who's kind of like a rough and tumble guy with the scruff and the long hair and the rebellious attitude, and of course the motorcycle, he shows up and just at the wrong time, but sasses off at the principal, and the principal goes, "You're helping her rebuild all this stuff and get it all ready." Neither of them like that idea. She's a little bit more perfectionist, and he's, of course, that guy right there. Very pretty. And, of course, just the kind of guy that you expect to roll into any movie like this and sweep the girl off her feet, much to both of their regret at first. They don't like each other at all. And even when she's complaining to mom and dad about this guy who thinks he's just so hot with his motorcycle and his leather jacket and all that, mom's just like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You like him, don't you? She doesn't say it, but you can see it in her eyes. She's one of the few adults in this, other than the principal, are Nova's parents. And it's Faith Ford is her mom, and her dad is played by Dean Norris of Breaking Bad. He played Hank Schrader, brother-in-law to Walter White. And in this place, he is not named Hank. His name is Frank. And actually, this role, I believe, happened before he became Hank Schrader, before he got the role on Breaking Bad, I think. I can't remember when Breaking Bad started, but it made me think it was 2014-ish. I don't know, it could be sooner. I don't recall. But yeah, it's again, this is the main couple, and you know the moment he shows up on screen, after we meet her, you know they're going to end up together. I'm not spoiling anything by telling you that. If you do not know that is going to happen, despite everything they do to prevent it from happening, and other people preventing it from happening, you know it's going to happen, or you've never seen a movie before, or you've never seen a teenage drama before. You've just arrived on this planet. Come on. So, and that's one of the main things that we have about this film is the actors, attractive, talented. They're good actors for, they're not, it's not exactly an original, totally brand new story. There's nothing new under the sun, but still, it's wholly predictable in its structure and where people end up for the most part, especially their relationship. But this is a kind of film that is not necessarily made to rock your boat and just take you out of your expectations, or, suddenly have this sort of crazy twist. This is not, if they were really going to blow your mind, they would just like have aliens invade or monsters or something, and then we'd have zombies probably. But no, we'd have The Faculty, Elijah Wood, and I think Jon Stewart was in that. The Faculty, we'd have that. And it wouldn't focus on the kids, it would focus on the teachers. So, yeah, we get them. We get another couple who is not communicating very well. He's all sort of got it all figured out, controlling things, and she's not really working things out because she's got fear that she's going to have to go to a school visitation, or they are going their separate ways or something. I don't know. There's some sort of thing where they're just not communicating. Another is, well, the one couple where the guy is cheating, or maybe not, on his girlfriend. And he is, of course, the most, the wanted man, handsome star sports guy and everything else. He's the main guy in the school everybody wants to be with, and or be in many cases. So yeah, when you get invited to his party, well, you're on the in crowd, you know, come on. So, and he can get whatever he wants. So you also have the boy who has a crush on the pretty girl who he can never speak to, but they're lab partners, and he kind of gets opportunities to get closer and closer, and he's falling in love with her, and she's adorable. She's just sweet, and she's got her own issues going on. There's also the guy who's been totally antisocial his entire school life, and his little sister just goes, dude, just try to be not yourself for a few days, few weeks, and maybe you might have fun. Go to the prom, ask somebody out. And so he kind of goes overboard, and then he's sort of the comic relief part of this. There's a lot of drama, but this guy goes out of his way to start asking almost every girl out in these most audacious ways, because promposals are a thing. They have a whole montage about that, and he feels he needs to keep up with that. And every opportunity he takes just blows up in his face. And yeah, there's another one where there's a stoner kind of guy who is not a stoner because this is a Disney film, but he just sort of, dude, yeah, got a girlfriend in Canada, and she's coming down here. I can't talk to her right now because she went out partying late at night. Her parents took away her computer or something, like her phone. Like, yeah, there's and there's one girl kind of calling his BS, like, oh yeah, sure, I got a girlfriend in Canada, you know, that kind of thing. And does he have a girlfriend in Canada? Is she just knockout gorgeous, or is it just all made up just to impress people? You kind of know where this is going. And honestly, every single subplot and main plot and everything else, regardless of what happens through the first hour and 20 minutes of this film, you know how it's going to end. It's just the way it is. I knew how it was going to end, and you will know how it's going to end. But there's a certain satisfaction in that for some people who just want something that's not challenging necessarily, just enjoyable. Just beautiful people having problems and resolving them in an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, I say that's what your thing is. This is it. This is for you, by the way. Yeah, so it's got its funny moments. It's got its squealing girl moments where they're just, oh, we love prom, we can. Some girls are just standing in the hallway looking at a poster that just got put up. Oh, I wish we could go to prom. Oh. And it's annoying tough guy over here. And he just takes a poster and puts it on the opposite wall so they're away from his locker. And they just sort of all scuttle over there, which is a nice bit. I really like that bit because they just stay in their cluster and move over to another spot. Kind of cool. Kind of funny. And by the way, you know that he's not the jerk that he plays himself out to be. Because early on, you see him working with his little brother, just helping him out and just playing with them. And so you know that he has a soft heart, that he's kind, and he's not as rebellious or hard-edged as he lets other people think he is, because he's always a smart aleck and just busting people's chops. And even especially when he's working with her, he treats her like crap, and she gives it back to him. And of course, that's the foundation of love in teenage dramas. So it's, yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You, maybe? I don't know. Except less feministy. I don't know. Of course, there's a dress montage at one point. This is a girl sleepover type movie. You'll get a kick out of it if that's your thing. But for the most part, no huge surprises. And you'll like the music, you'll like the actors, and, you know, It doesn't have to be a world-changing event type of film. This is not Avengers Endgame of prom movies, of teen movies. It just doesn't have to be. So just enjoy it if that's your thing. Now, I'm going to admit something here. This is the second time I'm doing this because I messed up the first one, and I already have picked out the number. It was number 221. All right. So 221 correlates to Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. No, not the original, the sequel that Disney did a bunch of stuff back in the early 2000s where they just did sequels, direct-to-video sequels to all their classic and neo-classic movies, you know, from the Renaissance era, even all the way back to like Bambi and doing Bambi 2 and Snow White, and Cinderella, all those Cinderella sequels. They did all that stuff to make money. And the animation, of course, is not up to par because it's going direct-to-video. It's not going on a big screen. But I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow is The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.